so hard if she dies before I do. Like, I will hit 500 pounds and a heart attack within 2 months and die so fucking quick. It's gonna be the biggest breakdown you've ever seen. I'm gonna document it and put it on YouTube for everyone to like as a like get your shit together now warning. So I'll be doing some good on my way out at least.
There's always a bright side to things, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try like all the drugs I never tried. You know what I mean? Like all the bad ones. I'm gonna do all of them.
Party on the way out.
Yeah, man.
Fuck it, right?
I'm not gonna burn the candle at both ends. I'm throwing that fucking candle into a bonfire and I'm saying YOLO. Fucking cowabunga that shit. I'm in a weird space tonight.
Candle out for a firecracker.
At least he has a plan, though. I mean, that's
right. I don't have a plan. I don't have somebody to lose to like be that upset about.
Good, keep it that way. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's not worth loving and being loved, Joe.
No.
Oh, Joe, did you see your boy Michael Keegan Key is going to be on SNL?
No.
He's hosting this weekend.
That ought to be hilarious.
They're having a sketch comedy performer host SNL?
Yeah, weird, right? That wasn't already on SNL once?
That's crazy.
That'd be like one of the best episodes ever.
Hopefully.
I still have yet to watch the Elon Musk one.
Why are people so mad about that, by the way?
Because people
I honestly don't really know.
Weird.
To be honest.
Like, they've had politicians host in the past. They've had actors that can't do comedy. They've had athletes that can't do comedy. Like, I don't understand why a scientist guy can't fucking be on it. Like, it's SNL. Like, people were so upset about that.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea either. Because I had read, too, that there were cast members that didn't really care for it either. But I have yet to watch it. So I don't know. Maybe he did fantastic. Probably not, but,
like,
whatever.
Nah, it's stupid.
I didn't watch all of it. I watched parts of it off of the YouTube channel. He played Wario in a court case about killing Mario.
Yeah, that's what you do with people that don't have comedy chops. You dress them up silly and you put them in weird situations. Like, they've been doing that shit since the beginning of SNL. Like, why is it such a big deal?
It's probably going to end up being some more political thing than anything.
Probably.
Oh, because he's a billionaire? You're not allowed to be a billionaire anymore?
Nope.
No, you're not, right?
Well, there goes all my dreams, guys.
I mean, I say shoot for the scars. By the time you'll become a millionaire, a billionaire, maybe you'll be back in fashion and you'll be okay.
Or it also means inflation got so high that
everyone's
a millionaire.
Everyone's a billionaire.
And now the goddamn trillionaires are running everything.
Yep.
You're like, damn it, I just got here.
Gas
so did everybody else.
$450 a gallon.
That cheap, huh?
Right.
So did we get an answer from Taj or no?
No.
Well, it's a good thing I already started recording, huh?
Suck it, Taj.
Bitch.
Right.
I had intent on talking about something and I don't know what it was now.
I know you guys are card collectors. Did you guys ever collect Pokemon cards?
You talking about Target and Walmart not selling them in stores anymore?
What is up with that? Like, why is this such a big thing all of a sudden of collecting Pokemon cards?
Scalpers?
Yeah. But like,
during that pandemic, apparently card collecting was like, hey, we used to do that. You know what I mean? And it got big again across all walks of card collecting. Like me and Cody just accidentally stumbled into it at like the wrong time or right time, however you want to.
No, wrong time for sure.
We never talked about it. It came up organically just because we're wrestling fans, and like we're like, let's try to. And then all of a sudden, like researching why we couldn't fucking find this shit anywhere, you start finding out that's exactly when like the limits started getting put up on places, and the scalpers got crazy and the eBay prices got fucking super high on everything. I was like, this is awful. If we would have jumped on this a year ago, like it would have been so easy and half the fucking price to get everything.
So I didn't even know it's affecting all.
Yeah,
like baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards.
Big time, dude.
Really?
Yeah, because I've been here and there randomly just buying a couple basketball sets for like the last 2 years. Not a lot. Like in total, maybe like 15, 20 of those like medium size cases, you know, not the individuals and not the big ones, but like the like the $50, $60 ones, you know?
Yeah.
Just for like, hey, it'd be cool to get all the Suns players. Like that was, and then I like the sports card place we went to had the year that Devin Booker was a rookie. They still had one of those boxes. And I was like, I'll buy one of those, see if I could find a Devin Booker rookie unbox, you know what I mean? Like just little things like that. And then all of a sudden, just from when I was doing it, you saw the prices of the same thing fucking jump and jump and jump to the point where I couldn't fucking afford them anymore. I was like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we hit it right before the peak fucking took off, and we either should have just not done it at all or gone balls to the wall right at the very start and gotten, you know, snuck in there, but we kind of fucked up on both.
And I suppose that makes sense because from what I was reading, it was like people are specifically about the Pokemon cards and Target now. Actually, I think they said that they are no longer going to be carrying those cards
in store. It's going to be sold online only.
It just didn't make sense to me because they were talking about like, you know, selling off rare old cards, and I'm like, do people not realize that the old cards are no longer in the new sets? Like that's what was confusing me. Like that's what I thought that they were going after, that they were chasing after these rare cards that you got in the old stuff. So now what you're saying is that it's more of just like people collecting stuff because people used to collect stuff and drive the price up on it.
Yeah, and the pandemic fucking hit, and like that middle class that have a little bit of extra money during the pandemic, and you couldn't, like Cody, you can't go to concerts, we can't go to movies, I can't go to fucking basketball games. I mean, I can, but not, you know, like I did. A little bit of extra money, and that kind of went across all walks of life. So, like the resale market on the basketball cards are fucking ridiculous right now. We're like third and fourth tier rookie cards are going for fucking way more than they've gone in the last 15, 20 years. It's so ridiculous.
Weird. All right. Have you guys been able to, or when does that one set that you guys were looking for come out? That's pretty soon, isn't it?
June.
Is it June?
Yep.
June something, man.
Maybe we'll get them, maybe not. Who knows?
Right.
And what's ridiculous, if you can, so it's funny. It's buying the cards from the websites are a lot like trying to get your shoes on release day. Like it's really hard, and a lot of people are using bots to do it. But like, if you go to the Topps website, the box sets that we were getting, the hobby boxes that go for on cheap end $119 and at high end like $183, depending on where you're going, sell for $75 off the website.
But that's assuming that you can get it
from the website. Yeah. So the retail on them are actually $75 for that box. But you cannot go into a physical store anywhere and get them for less than $120.
That's lame.
Yeah, dude. It kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty. People are terrible.
Right?
Yeah, the article Paige was reading about that was talking about how like Target is making like they sent a thing saying like this is officially what we're doing. This is how the plan's going to be. tomorrow's restock is the last restock in stores. From now on, they're only sold through the website, and they're not going to be shipped to the store. They're only shipped to people, because they have they're having an issue with safety of people buying and their employees, because they have had multiple people have guns pulled on them and like death threats for
their cards.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous.
There's nothing to lose your life over.
Yeah, so Target's like, fuck it, we don't care. It's
well,
going
dude,
online.
during peak pandemic, people were pulling guns and punching fucking managers for toilet paper.
That's true.
Like, we have multiple reports. I had to sign off on a gun safety program at work because we had multiple people in Arizona pull guns on people. Yeah, like, real dumb shit.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Speaking of other dumb shit.
Yes.
That's a terrible segue to this.
Comes naturally. Sorry.
Another article that I ran across this week was from Uproxx. Tom Cruise's most dangerous stunt yet in Mission Impossible Mission Impossible 7 will put his other stunts to shame. That headline right there made me super intrigued as to what the fuck that he was doing. Like, what?
Let's take guesses.
Okay, go for it.
It's going to be Cody. You first.
Is it hanging off of a high-speed train?
No.
Damn it.
Are they really actually just going to shoot him in the head one point?
Right? He's doing the actual magic bullet. No, he's not.
Oh, is it going to go to space?
No.
Damn it.
Oh,
he will, but this is not the stunt.
Is he going to do that is he going to do that Travis Pastrana thing where he jumps out of an airplane with no parachute? And gets the parachute?
Close.
What is it?
So what's funny is you name all that other stuff, and even this article starts off with the time that he held his breath for 6 minutes underwater, the time that he scaled the world's tallest building, where he hung off of the fucking side of an airplane. And I'm like, what the fuck is this crazy bastard going to do next that is somehow topping all of that stuff? And what it ends up being, let me see if I can get it correct here. It involves riding a motorcycle off of a cliff and then pulling a parachute. Right?
Cool.
So he's going to drive a motorcycle off the edge of a cliff and then free fall
for 6 seconds, and then he's got 6 seconds to pull a parachute. That
you imagine if he does that and somebody doesn't get coverage properly, they don't get the
Let's go again. They have 4 motorcycles. They're like, you got 4 chances. 4. On the 4th one.
And I get every stunt that he does. In this stunt, there's no wires that he has on himself or anything. There's no real safety that he has besides the parachute. But like, reading all of those other stunts that he's done, and then reading this was just like, oh, didn't they do that in a Bond movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's bad and it's scary, but yeah, I feel like the airplane thing is.
It's like the most tame thing to me. It's the most tame thing of all those stunts that he's done. It feels like, because you're just riding a motorcycle off a cliff and then pulling a parachute. I feel like I've seen that done hundreds of times.
Maybe nobody's ever actually done it though. Because
like on film or just in real life anywhere.
No, like in movies, like maybe like all the times, because we've seen that in movies, right? Like I gotta say, we've seen it a few times, but maybe nobody's actually done it. You know what I mean?
They're on some kind of wire.
That, especially the main, especially like the actual actor doing it.
Well, yeah,
I can see the stuntman doing it, and I'm pretty sure even the one in the James Bond one that he does, it's a stuntman that actually does the stunt, and then when they do close-ups of because I want to say it was one of the Pierce Brosnan ones. They have a blue screen or green screen with Pierce Brosnan in front of that to do the close-ups, but then everything outside of that is just a stunt man. But to me, that was just like reading that. It's kind of the most tame of all of his stunts that I've seen him do.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's the most ridiculous thing.
Right.
But, maybe it's a really tall cliff.
Oh, it looks like a tall cliff. Don't get me wrong. It does. They have a picture of it. He did it.
One of these days, he's going to die doing a stunt. And then it'll be the only time that, like, one of the very few times in history where people could say he died doing what he loved. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's just waiting to get taken out like that, right? Like,
that if there's going to be a way that he's going to go, it's going to go that it's going to be that. It's not old age. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he's capable of getting to old age, right? Isn't he like one of those
alien robots?
The higher ups? Yeah, like
he is like what, 60 years old now?
Something like that, yeah.
That's nuts.
Right?
Remember when we were kids what 60 looked like in movies?
Yeah, it looked like Clint Eastwood.
Well, remember like Murtaugh was like 40 or some shit? like Murtaugh and Taj are the same age. In the first
He's too old for this shit.
We're not too old for this shit. Fantastic.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Did we all watch the Venom trailer?
Yes, we did.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I rewatched it as an ad on YouTube right before I watched another video. Actually, right before I watched the Forever Purge trailer. So I think when Venom or when Eddie goes into the convenience store, I think Venom says something in like Korean.
Oh, you think it's Korean?
I think so. I think he's trying to say like hello to her in Korean or something, because I could not tell what he said. I was like, what the hell? And then Eddie's like, Venom says hello, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know.
Yeah, he gets very muddled right there.
Yeah. Did you guys like the trailer though?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't dislike it in any stretch, but I felt like I was like, they didn't really give us much. And I know it's the first trailer, but I was like, I didn't like the whole I'm cooking a messy breakfast thing. That part kind of bugged me. I don't know why it bugged me.
We don't do it.
Like, I hope like that's the extent of the jokey joke, though. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they did that joke in the first one, if I recall right.
Yeah, no, that's why I kind of didn't dig it. I was like, I hope it's not a lot of that. You know what I mean? Because it's very prominent in the trailer. But I am super down to see Woody Harrelson play Carnage.
I totally forgot that he was doing that role up until he started doing the voiceover, and I was like, oh shit, that's right.
They changed his hair. People were real mad about his hair in the first one.
Even though it's closer to what his hair looks like in the comic book.
Right?
Yeah, comic book fans don't want...
comic book fans don't want comic books. Come on.
Comic book likeliness to be right. They want it to look cool all the time.
Later on, he has a different haircut, but like when you first meet him, that's what he looked like. But also, that's a different director doing that movie than this movie, so, I mean... And
also, it was a fucking... after credit or mid credit, whatever it was a throwaway scene. It was a teaser. You know what I mean? Like, let's give the guys a little bit of fucking, like, Thanos didn't look the same all the time. You know what I mean? Like, he got way fucking cooler looking. But people were so pissed at the end of the first Venom. They're like, he looks so stupid. I'm also, like, well, good thing when he's Carnage, he's gonna look way fucking different, huh, guys?
Right?
Well, that and he's getting ready to be executed, so they probably gave him a haircut.
Because that's what's always on the agenda.
Well, they do. They give you
in Green Mile, they just shave the back of the head where the sponge goes.
Yeah, where the sponge sits. That way they don't have to burn hair.
Didn't fucking wet that one sponge. Little piece of shit. Not Sam. What was it? Sam Rockwell? Not Sam Rockwell. Who's the piece of shit guard? Rockwell was the prisoner that killed the little girls.
Yeah.
I'm so mad I brought it up because it's gonna bug me so bad now.
Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, that fucking asshole Tom Hanks.
I honestly don't remember much about the casting of that movie besides Tom Hanks and Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Dark Duncan? That was the most racist thing you've ever said.
No, I almost swapped
You're
the
the new
two
Cody.
letters
Way
of the
to go.
first.
Barry Pepper.
Wow.
Barry Pepper. There we go.
I could picture his face, and I was like, "Oh my god, Battlefield Earth." Barry Pepper.
Ew. How'd you do that? Everyone knows his best movie is Knockaround, guys.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We come for the deep cuts.
The D cups? Is that what you said?
Yeah, those two.
Yeah.
You guys think what do you think is the best, not your favorite, but the best Stephen King play or a Stephen King book in a movie?
The best Stephen King book into a movie.
So what's the best adaptation so far?
Yeah.
It's the best film, like the best like.
Oh, so not adaptation, but best like of the movies made from his material. What's the best actual movie?
Best actual movie, not necessarily your favorite, not necessarily the most faithful,
but the best movie.
The best.
I mean, Green Mile is Shawshank Redemption, maybe. I'm trying to think the best movie though.
The thing is, though, is both of those were short stories of his, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to
like actual novels, though.
But I count that. That's his work.
That?
You know,
Okay.
Yeah, it's still his work.
Honestly, I would say Shawshank Redemption.
I think Shawshank is probably is the best movie made from, and again, not adaptation, but best movie of anything that's been made from his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because also, I think it's one of the ones that's also the most un-Stephen King of all of them.
Yeah, there's really no...
There's no supernatural
stuff to it.
Yeah.
Because like Green Mile, when I realized that Shawshank Redemption was a Stephen King thing, like I was well into being an adult. You know what I mean? And it kind of blew my mind because in my head, I would think of all the scary shit or supernatural shit. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this doesn't seem like something he would do. Like I was very confused. But even like Green Mile, you have like the magic stuff and the curse because he killed one of the guys, so he lived a long time and all that shit.
Yeah, it's because I want to say even the collection that Shawshank is in, which is not the actual name, it's got a longer name. Shawshank Redemption does. I could probably look it up.
That's right, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a weird title.
Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
That's the one.
Who the fuck's Rita?
It's that girl from Cheers, right?
That's Ron Perlman. I just made this theory up right now, but I think it might not be. I might not believe it, but I'm gonna say it. I think the reason that people think Shawshank is a better movie than The Green Mile is because Shawshank is a normal movie length, like a long movie length, and The Green Mile is like 3 hours and 10 minutes or some shit. I don't say Shawshank's only like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. I think people got bored. It was too long. Shawshank is 2 hours and 22 minutes.
I recall the length of them.
Shawshank is 142 minutes.
Don't make me do math, dickhead. Tell me it's 2 hours and 22 minutes.
It's 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah, I think to be, I think most people have a 2.5 hour limit of their movie watching capabilities.
I don't know. It depends. If I'm watching something in a theater, I can watch a longer movie. But if I'm watching something at home, yeah, I don't really want to watch something very long.
I still haven't watched The Irishman yet. I watched 32 minutes of it one night, and I got tired, and I never fucking finished it. I don't even remember what the first 32 minutes are anymore. Like, I'm gonna have to start over. 4
You've
hours.
got more than me. I intended to watch that, and then I totally forgot about it.
And Mike, to answer your question, who Rita Hayworth is, it's a pinup model on a poster he has in his cell.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. The poster that it was
covered his hole.
Yeah.
And
he asks for a larger version of it so he can make a bigger hole.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the poster, in the wall. Obviously, he wasn't fucking the poster.
Remember the kid in that movie that knew Tim Robbins' character was innocent, so they had him killed? You remember that?
Yeah. What about
Yeah.
Isn't it weird to think that that's the guy from Ally McBeal?
I didn't watch Ally McBeal, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I just remember thinking like, that guy was in Ally McBeal, and like nothing else. I was like, that's weird. I think I saw Ally McBeal before I saw Sausage. I think that's why it threw me off.
Probably.
I had no idea when Ally McBeal even came out, so yeah, maybe. Mm-hmm.
Also, the guy in Ghostbusters 2 that has the painting with the curly haired guy.
Yeah.
He was in Ally McBeal too. I always thought that was weird.
He was also Numbers.
I think it's weird. The which one's that one? Numbers?
The one about the two brothers. One's in the FBI. One's the mathematician.
Nope.
No, I don't think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool.
But I think anybody who was in Ally McBeal is kind of weird, right? It was a weird show, and
the only thing I know about Ally McBeal is it was one of the first shows, like actual prime time shows, to use CG in it.
This is a baby.
Because that CG baby, yeah.
A stupid unga chaka, unga chaka baby.
Yep.
I'm having a lot of flashbacks right now. That baby was talked about a lot on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Gross.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. I watched the Rosie O'Donnell show when I was a kid too.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
Well, I was young enough. I was younger than you guys, so it was still cool to me because it was like a talk show that was funny and not sad and a fucking bummer all the time like all the other daytime talk shows.
Fair enough.
So when you grew up with 3 channels and you could watch hard copy, extra edition, or the Rosie O'Donnell show, you go with the Rosie O'Donnell show.
I don't know. Extra inside edition sounds pretty fun to me.
Yeah.
So talking about things that from our younger years that are making a little bit of a comeback here. Have you guys heard that they are going to be making movies for Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse, and the Venture Brothers?
Yep.
Nice.
Right? They even released like a kind of a synopsis of what each movie will be. The Metalocalypse one says that the power-hungry tribunal unveils their secret and deadly Falconback project as the world grows in embattled chaos and the menacing Doomstar breaches the Earth's atmosphere while the mysterious and twisted descent of a band member threatens the future of Deathclock. Picking up directly after the heroic rescue of Toki Wartooth, can Deathclock choose between their egos and the greater good of the world to embark on a gauntlet of dangers that will try their very souls and finally write the song that will be their salvation? The new movie is created by Brandon Small, Tommy Blancha, and the movie soundtrack will be released on Water Tower Music. The Venture Brothers says that Doc's latest invention will either bankrupt the Venture Brothers or launch them to new heights. As Hank searches for himself, Dean searches for Hank, the Monarch searches for answers, and a mysterious woman from their past threatens to bring their entire world crashing down on them. And finally, the Aqua Teen Hunger Force is the best one because it's just so Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
As it should be.
It's a continuation of the hit animated series. Fans will find out what happens next with Frylock, Meatwad, and Master Shake, who consider themselves crime fighters, but the truth is they never fight crime. Aqua Teen Hunger Force is created by and that was it. That's it. That's the synopsis of what they're going for in that movie.
I mean,
there's no word yet on any of the release dates, but you could probably assume that's going to be like next year when it'll be released. But I can't wait. I loved all those shows.
They're fantastic. I love me some Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Mm-hmm. Just the irreverence of it. The fact that their song always said that they were crime fighters, and yet they never fought crime whatsoever. They always started episodes with those two crazy scientists doing weird stuff, and then just never address it for the most part in the rest of the show.
Yeah, as it should be.
Right?
Did you ever see what they did when they released the movie, the first movie, the night before it came out?
Yeah, I watched it in that little tiny box.
Yeah.
The lower corner of the screen.
Yep, played the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Almost completely invisible in the bottom corner of the screen.
Yep.
So fantastic.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that.
Yep, and then I went and saw it in theaters the next day.
I did not.
Because that
I don't know when I saw it.
Was bonkers.
I bet it was. I still remember for the most part, remember the DVD cover of that thing.
Yeah.
It's just so like that classic, I don't even remember what that guy's name was that did like the barbarian stuff and the He-Man looking thing with Carl and went out on the front.
Yep.
That's so awesome. Then I was surprised how much I didn't get into Death Clock at first when it first came out. It took me a while to like actually watch it, and then I appreciated it so much and just really enjoyed the music behind it as well.
Yep. I got to see Death Clock live at Comic-Con one year.
That'd have been dope. They
played on an aircraft carrier.
Is that it's that one that's right next to the convention?
Yeah, they played inside one of the I don't know if it's considered a hangar or whatever it is, but it was inside one of the big old holes, and was so fucking loud because it's just a metal room, and they're just loud as shit. And I was like, well, this is uncomfortable but awesome.
That would be awesome.
It's good times.
Mm-hmm. And whatever happened to the Venture Brothers, that show just kind of like the release schedule of it just became so wonky.
Yeah, it pulled a Rick and Morty for sure. Before Rick and Morty did Rick and Morty.
But it seemed even worse. Like it seemed like they never advertised it when it did come back, and they probably did. It just I wasn't seeing it. Because at least with the Rick and Morty stuff, I see it on the stuff that I watch.
Yeah, with Venture Brothers, they had such a weird, like, hiatus in a way. Like, oh, we're gonna do all these different things, and I think there's like almost 3 years or something between.
Yeah.
Them between. Yeah, so
it was like season 3 and 4 or something like that.
So between so it's 5 and 6. So season 5. Well, okay. Well, actually, I should say this: 4 to 5. There was a 3-year gap, but there was a special in 2011, and for season 5, it premiered in 2013, ended in 2013, a month later, and then there was a special in 2015. So there's 2 years between that, and then there was season 6 came out in 2016, and then season 7 came out in 2018. There's a lot. That's a long time. I mean, I realize like animated shows are not exactly the quickest of all things, but I mean, Jesus, that is a long time.
Yeah, but at least we're getting something now.
Yeah, and they even planned a season 8, and then it got canceled. I'm trying to find that. I know there's an article about it that I read somewhere. In 2020, yeah, that the basically show was like kind of gone, and then in November, HBO Max said that they're basically planning to revive the show. Nothing came about it, and now just the other day or today or yesterday it was, they announced that the direct-to-video movie is in production. And I was like, all right, well, cool. I'm gonna watch it when it comes out because I love the Venture Brothers.
Right.
Because it's ridiculous and beyond smart.
Right.
And it's parodying homage-ish way. Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Did either of you watch the Forever Purge trailer?
No, I didn't know that they even released one yet.
It came out early this morning, and I forgot to send it out. I don't know if you guys caught it or not.
No, if only YouTube actually show those to me during commercials.
I saw it posted someplace, but I didn't watch it.
It was either today or yesterday. I can't remember when it came out. But
I've never seen any of the Purge movies.
Really?
Yeah, I never wanted to.
The first one has the dumbest ending ever of any movie.
Cool, so I was right.
Yep. The second one was essentially Punisher,
which was awesome.
Yep.
That's where I came on board, and that was a fun movie.
Yeah, it was a real fun movie. And then the other ones have gotten just more ridiculous and in like stupid ways. This new one,
the way of the Saw.
No, like Saw got like gore porn type thing. This one just got more like it was still violent, but it was like it was more of like political. Like the world's like, oh, this is like essentially like very Trumpish in a way. And obviously like, you know, that's what they were going for. So it wasn't that way. They just got more like just outlandish. Like the Purge, the idea of a purge itself is ridiculous, but then they're like the absurdity people go to act out stuff during the Purge, and like the fact that like houses have built-in metal shutters that are like bulletproof, and like just shop owners are. It's just ridiculous. Like it's just asinine, and the scale of people doing like murder parties and shit like that.
People coming from other countries just to experience it.
Yeah, because it only happens in the United States.
The
rest of the world is sane.
USA.
Yep. So yeah, and this new one essentially takes place right after the annual purge, like the morning after, and a large faction of people have decided, no, the purge doesn't end. They're calling it, and they start chanting about the forever purge and just start hunting people down in like large packs, like taking down cities and shit like that, I guess. So it's pretty nuts.
Pretty gnarly. I'm watching it right now.
Yeah.
There's that one scene with the cage that looked really Saw-ish to me.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I was like, I don't think you should reach her. Okay, there you go. Also, I don't know how her head got caught in there.
Yeah, right? She got flipped around and her head suddenly got caught in that open space.
Yeah, like her arm barely fit in there, but somehow as it opens up, it had more room
for her head to just slip right in.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, whatever. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, but you know, whatever. Yeah. And the image they used on this thumbnail was pretty cool. It's like this weird like mask that had bullets for teeth, which is pretty cool looking. Which is one of the things they actually do really well in those movies is the costumes, because they're like garish and crazy. Like was it the first Purge that had the president faces?
Yes, I think it was.
And one was like a neon, like Lady Liberty, with like X's in the eyes or whatever.
But that wasn't the first one. That was the...
No, it's called The First Purge. That's the name of the movie.
Oh, The First Purge. Yeah, had
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was another one that was cool too? They just the ones that of the presidents always remind me of that movie with Patrick Swayze. I can't think of it right now. The good one.
Wow.
Point Break.
Point Break. There we go. I was going to say the one with the water.
I was like, Gross Point Blank? No.
One with the water?
I mean, it had water in it.
He's not wrong. He did have water.
You're not wrong.
And Keanu Reeves.
It's not where I would have jumped to. I'm trying to remember. Julie Benz was in 3 of them, I think. I can't remember. But they're fun to watch. They're just fucking, violence.
Especially the second one.
The second one's real good.
The second one the best. And that's because it has Crossbones in it.
Yeah.
Who really should have been the Punisher.
Frank Grillo.
Yep.
Don't talk bad about Barenthal. He was awesome.
I'm not saying Barenthal wouldn't have been is bad at all. I'm literally saying, like, if you were to put a Punisher in the MCU, it should have been him.
Should have been him.
Yeah.
Can't though. Can't anymore. I mean, he can. No one's really gonna care that much. You think Grillo's like kind of carved out this niche as like a really good action movie guy. Like even movies that aren't good or big budgeted or anything like that, I'm like, if Grillo's in it, like I'm more apt to watch it than if he's not. I'm like, oh, Homeboy's in it. You know what I mean? I kind of get.
And that's the second Purge movie to a T. It's just an action movie, really.
The whole premise of the first one and the previews, it turned me off. Like I was like,
I get that because I did the same thing. I have not seen the first Purge at all. At all.
You guys watch it yet? No, that's what I was asking. Did you watch it yet?
Nah, I forgot about it until like 2 days ago.
I forgot about it till just now.
Antebellum's on there? What?
Will Sasso's in it.
Weird. Sorry, Antebellum's on there too. I didn't know that. The first movie just takes place in the one house, essentially. It's doesn't have the city-wide scale as the other ones, because it was made for like $11. But what makes me mad at the end of the whole thing is, so this group of people are terrorizing Ethan Hawke's family, and at the very end they finally get in, and right before the purge ends, they kill him in front of his family. Then the sirens go off, calling off the end of the purge, which means, things are legal now. And the wife, right before it goes off, she has the gun pointed at the guy who killed her husband. The sirens go off, and the purge ends, and now murder is now illegal again. But there's no one else around except for her and her family and them. And I was like, you murder them right where they're at.
Right.
And then when someone asks, oh no, they killed him and then I killed them, then the purge ended.
Yep.
But no, they just leave. And I was like, no, not at all. You aren't leaving this house ever again. I'm going to shoot your kneecaps off and I'll put you in my basement and I'm going to torture you until the next purge. And then I'm going to make you think you get away, and then I'm going to murder you and your entire family from wherever you go to after you leave my house during the purge. That's how it should have ended. But instead,
like a purge ending.
Piece of shit movie. Anyways, I digress. It's fun though. The second one is the best of all the movies, though. If anyone's wondering which ones they should watch. The first one? No. The second one? Yes. And if you enjoy the second one, watch the rest of them after that, because they're just as violent. There's a scene in... I want to say it's the third one, because the first Purge, air quotes, the first Purge is the one previous. Like, it's the one right before this one, which is weird, because, like, it's the first Purge, but it's, like, the fourth movie. Or fifth movie, but I think it's the third movie where like this group of like preteen girl, like 15, 16-year-old girls are like running around in this armored car murdering people, and they're going after like people that they bully in like their school. And then like I can't remember who it was in the movie, like just fucking murders one of them, like just hits him with a car. And the other ones are like, "Oh, what do we do?" And I was like, "Well, it's the Purge, and you're already killing people,
right?
I guess just stand there and get killed." But I just remember that because I was like, "God damn." That makes me nervous to think that that could be a real thing. People are like, fuck it. You know, I can't get in trouble for it. Might as well. But, like, and one of the guys is, like, he's, like, has, like, PTSD from, like, the previous purges or something. I can't remember what it was. But maybe I'll rewatch him before the new one comes out.
There you go.
A little Purge marathon. Unpurge my memory of him.
When does the new one come out?
July. No, wait, hold on. It's a great question, Joe. Oh yeah, it was July 2nd, right before Independence Day. Because Jungle Cruise comes out July 23rd. Now, I believe. They announced that today, too.
In theaters or at home.
Yep, with Disney Plus Premier Access.
So all those families can save some moolah.
It's true. Oh, I didn't see your thumb at first. I thought you were doing this. And I was like, that's not how families save money.
Yeah, it's gross.
You're gross. Good things no one's recording video for this, huh?
Nah.
Bill Maher has COVID.
Who?
Does he?
Yeah, Bill Maher. They scrapped the taping of Real Time because he tested positive for COVID.
Was he a COVID denier?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if he has his vaccines or not, but
I don't know either.
Because you can still test positive and have the vaccine. You just may not show symptoms, so they're just more worried about other people getting possibly sick. You know what I mean?
That's like a way small chance, though.
Yeah.
There's an NBA player that had the vaccines, both vaccines, and got it. And he was like a 1%er or something like that. They were reading an article. I was like, oh, what a fucking bummer for that guy.
Yeah.
You know, the whole fucking time, no COVID, get some vaccines, get a little bit of freedom back in your routine, and then bam, get COVID anyway. Because you're 1 in 5 million or whatever that's going to happen to. What a
that would suck.
Shitty situation.
Yeah, so it says
funny,
here.
I had an interview today at City Hall in Buckeye. A job interview.
Oh, it was in person?
Nobody was wearing a fucking mask.
Really?
Yeah. And they tell you in the email, like, hey, it's going to be a big room with you and 3 other people. You're going to be distant. If you're comfortable not wearing a mask, you're allowed not to wear a mask, blah, blah, blah. And they all have their, like, mask next to them, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when I walked in, like, the lady at the desk wasn't wearing a mask. She saw me, started talking to me, and then realized I had my mask on, and was like, oh, and put her mask on. And then, like, a couple people walked up and, like, dropped some stuff off on the desk. None of them were wearing a mask. And they get taken upstairs. Nobody upstairs was wearing a mask. They're walking around. I was like, oh, you guys are running a pretty loose ship over here, huh?
Right.
All right. Let's do this. So I took my mask off, and I coughed on everyone. I was like, let's fucking party. That's not what happened.
Cowabunga.
I did take my mask off, though. I'm vaccinated. I don't know about you fucking dummies. But
not. That's weird.
It does say here Bill Maher is fully vaccinated and is currently asymptomatic, but he tested positive in the weekly staff testing, according to an announcement from HBO.
Yeah, they say they don't know if that's contagious or not, right?
Yeah. But he says he feels fine, and there's no other staff or crew members that tested positive at the time, so he could have picked it up from somewhere else. But he is fully vaccinated, apparently, to this, so, I mean...
I wonder if he's going to be one of those people that keep getting those false positives, like in Kevin Durant in the NBA. He got COVID early on, like apparently pretty bad, and he keeps getting false positives, like consistently, because there's something in his, and like I guess it's a thing for some people, another small percentage, not symptomatic, not showing anything, but will get like a couple positive tests in a row and has to be taken out and get like a more like invasive test to show the negative. Oh, that's fucking shitty too.
That is real shitty. That really affect your team too if you're one of your star players is just like testing positive constantly.
Yeah, it's not much fun.
But, you know, it looks like we're starting to come out the other end of this, sort of. I know the CDC today announced that people who are fully vaccinated could, you know, don't have to wear masks out in public in large crowds.
Yep.
So, I think the only thing they said, like, caveats were, like, if you go to an indoor large gathering or something like that, like sporting events or concerts and stuff, they still want you to wear one.
Yeah. It was something like that. And then, of course, like, businesses that say, hey, we want you to wear a mask, wear a mask.
Dude, like this whole goddamn pandemic, I've been really good about wearing my mask because I've been very much on the side of, like, hey, wear your fucking mask. It's not hard. Right. But this morning, I had to take the dogs into the groomers. And the way we do it, because you go to Petco and there's a small back room. You get your dog checked in, they take them from there. But since the COVID, like only one person's allowed in that room, and like one group can go in that room. If you're with like me and Jen can be in there at the same time, but they, it's a pain in the ass, and there's always a bunch of dogs waiting on the outside. So I was like, Jen goes in, start the check-in process, and I'll bring Finn in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Today I walk in and I get to the back, and I'm like, oh, I'm not fucking wearing my mask. It's the first time I've walked into a public building and just completely oblivious, and I didn't have my mask on. I was like, why is... And then I realized I wasn't. I was like, oh, Jen, take the dog. I gotta go. Run back out, grab my mask.
Shit, I'm one of them.
Like, I don't be an asshole.
Right?
I walked back in. I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys. She's like, oh, it's fine. Like,
Admit that you were wrong.
Felt real dumb. Couldn't believe it. They almost lifted the mask mandate, and I finally fucked up and walked in without a mask.
Like, I was so close.
So close to the perfect game.
So close, but yet so far, Mike.
Speaking of concerts, are you going to buy my ticket for the Rise Against concert, and I'll pay back?
I don't know, man. I'm so not looking forward to going to concerts anymore.
You're not?
No, dude. These people, like, I know it's just going to be a giant pain, and like I know by that time we're going to be like super far at the tail end of this, so it should be fine. But it's like just the thought of going to these fucking places and having people argue about not wearing masks and being around sweaty, gross people. I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to do this anymore.
This is true. This is definitely true.
Like, I really want to see live shows again, but it's also like I don't want to be around people at all. Like, and that kind of thing. Like, you know, obviously go somewhere, like, you know, go in the mall, there's people around, whatever. But you're not crammed in a room where people are like, these assholes are going to get in your space. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm okay with
Since we're on that, then would you go back to a Comic-Con then?
Not right now.
Not right now.
I mean, I don't even like going. Like, I don't even like being around those people at normal.
They announced that, hey, we're going to open up Comic-Con again. San Diego Comic-Con, not Phoenix Comic-Con. Well, we could do Phoenix Comic-Con, but it's not as, you know, good as San Diego.
Yeah.
Would you try and get tickets for it next year?
I mean, I probably might. I don't know. It depends on where everything's at, how I feel about it. Because, like, I don't even like going to, like, the movie theaters right now. Other than, like, I know, like, I'm going to be away from people when I'm sitting in my seat. But it's like in the lobby, people just don't give a fuck. They just, like, walk up on you. And I'm like, dude, seriously? Like, get the fuck away from me, you know? But I'm not going to say shit. I literally just walk away from people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is? I don't understand how hard this is for you to understand. Don't get next to people you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just drives me insane. I hate people.
I would like to adopt a lot of these rules just going forward in general.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Like, let's keep the lobby of movie theaters fucking a little bit more spacious.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how to do it realistically, but let's try to figure that out because I enjoy it much better that way. Let's go to half capacity everywhere.
Yeah,
we can figure it out.
One thing I would like to see come out of this is if you feel sick, even if you're not necessarily sick, wear a mask.
Yeah, I do think you're going to see a lot of people just wear a mask more often now. Just out of common courtesy.
Yeah, but the wrong people, though. The people who are sick aren't going to be wearing them.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're going to see a lot of American flags on cars with people with no masks on, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
USA.
USA. Yeah, like I think even Mike said it. It was a couple weeks ago, like when vaccinations were a bigger thing, and like the masks were kind of being like a let go thing, where like companies were up to them policing them, and like Mike's like Fry's is like not really even caring about it anymore. Like, yeah, they'll put a sign up, but they're not going to go up to somebody, hey, you need to wear a mask or whatever, right?
It's because there's no like enforcement. There's no like even the stores that want to enforce it. There's nothing like they're getting no support from higher ups.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like there's just and then you're basically just pissing off people that want to argue, and so you give them their argument instead of just hopefully getting them in and out of the store quicker. It's a shitty situation.
Yeah,
and I think the biggest thing for like we obviously work Best Buy. It's an electronics store. There are people that are a lot of people in there at any given time, but you can stop the person that isn't going to wear a mask and tell them, you can't come in unless you wear a mask, and you're going to argue that. You're going to only get maybe 2 to 3 arguments a day because people don't have to go to a Best Buy.
Yeah.
People have to go to a grocery store, though. They have to get food. And that's where you're going to have the much higher increase of people that aren't going to wear masks. And as an employee, I'm sure a low-paying employee, do you really want us to be the guy that sits there and just like has to argue with people all fucking day long? And people, it's not going to be just your normal average asshole too. It's going to be your gun-toting fucking maniac that's going to try and shoot up the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, like as much as I hate to see this myself. I say see it. I do curbside because I'm fucking lazy as fuck. I don't want to have to actually step inside of a store and like push around a cart and figure out what I'm going to, go through aisles and stuff like that. I get enough exercise as it is, guys. I do my running, I do my lifting and stuff like that. I'm going to go curbside because it's especially free right now. Like you just pick your stuff out and that's it. I'm done. I pull up, they drop the stuff in my car, and I go home. Takes like 10 minutes.
And your shopping's not
amazing,
super elaborate either, so I mean,
no,
it's fairly easy. Now, Joe, question though: if the curbside was not free, would you still do it? Like, say they in like a week from now, they're like, "Hey, curbside's no longer free." Are you continuing to do it? Depending on the price. I don't know what the price was beforehand, but
$5.
$5?
Yeah, it's $5. $4.99.
So would you continue doing it?
Yeah, I think for at least right now I would.
Would you spread your grocery shopping out more? Like, would you do 2 weeks worth of groceries at a time to pay that $5, or would you continue your average of once a week or whatever it is?
That would probably be the more intelligent thing to do. Spend $100 and then I don't have to go grocery shopping for 2 weeks, rather than spending $50 and going grocery shopping every week, which would make more sense financially. Instead of spending $20 a month, it would be $10 a month. So yeah, that would be something that would work out. That you mentioning it would make sense. Yeah.
Just wondering. It just popped in my head. Like, I wonder how many people. I said this to Mike the other day because we were at Paige and I went to the Fry's off of Litchfield and the one you go to, and in the home goods area, which is not very big in that store, obviously, they have tons of click list carts or whatever they call it now. What do they call it? Is it click list still? What is it called? Pickup, whatever it's called. They have those carts just in the store, because I know Joe doesn't know because he hasn't been in the store in months. But in that area where they used to have the outdoor furniture right next to the pharmacy stuff, that area has been condensed down, and they have like 50, 60 of the carts just waiting out there that have orders in them. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, I mean, obviously, the amount of people utilizing that service has probably jumped up quite a bit. And Mike can probably answer this better, like just because of the whole COVID situation.
Pre-pandemic to like middle, not the peak of it, you know, because the numbers were hard to gauge. But when the stores kind of got back to normal, so to say like 4 months ago, to pre-pandemic, almost every store doubled, if they weren't already maxed out, and a lot of openings got created too. So if they had the capabilities of doubling, they doubled. If they didn't have the capabilities of doubling because they were already pretty busy, they pretty much maxed them out on especially weekends and for most of the week too. Like it jumped quite a bit.
Did they ever go to doing pickup before store hours?
No.
Okay.
No, because a lot of people don't realize this who do pickup, but like the way Fry's is set up is pickup is literally picking off the shelves that are stocked.
Yeah.
There's not a cohesive, good setup in the back room to be able to select from the back. And Fry's ordering system and stocking routines are supposed to, the goal is to leave the back room clear.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to have all your product on the shelves. So the problem with going store hours is the product's not out yet. Like there's
Gotcha.
You're digging through pallets and you're screwing up night crew. So they tried to, because right now it was a 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. is the first hour, and 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. is the last hour. For about a week, they tried to open up 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.s and 8 to 9, and it was a disaster because nothing was ready in time because they didn't give any extra hours.
No, of course not.
Like, here's 10 more orders or whatever many orders you could do in an hour. Here's more, but they didn't change hours, and so it literally just fucked every store up for almost the rest of the day because they filled up so quick. So they got rid of it with less than a week. Like they pulled it less than a full week before because every store fucked it up.
Good.
Yeah, because I know
terrible.
Like Walmart does stops theirs by the time the sun goes down. Like Walmarts are open till 11 o'clock midnight. Some stores, some of them are open 24 hours, but their curbside pickup, I noticed, falls off at 6 p.m. Like there's nobody over there. And the lights are off over there. And I was like, I guess that kind of makes sense because you don't want people going out there in the dark and getting fucking murdered and shit. Right. But I mean, I don't know if that's the same for Fry's because I think I see them all the time.
Yeah, just their standard hours, so they'll go into the dark hours, and it gets. Some of the store setups are real bad for that too, because some of the stores they're not up front in the parking lot, like a lot of them are. Yeah, dude, the one in Goodyear that I opened up, and the first one I was a lead at, you're actually in the back of the store. And they had to install a fucking light back there because there was nothing back there. The first 2 weeks we were back there after 7 p.m. or less than that, 6 during the wintertime, we couldn't see anything. We literally had flashlights to go out there to show customers stuff because there's no fucking lights back there.
That's awful.
They finally put a couple lights back there so we could see what we were doing. So yeah, it was it. And what's funny too is when Fry's rolled out pickup, and they rolled it out real slow with the first couple stores, and then they're like, "This is good," and rushed it into every store real quick, right? And then the pandemic hit, and the volume of it went up so much that they realized the stores that they rushed it into aren't big enough to fucking hold the volume that they're open for. And so that's why you see, like, at that store you were talking about, they have trolleys and orders staged on the sales floor, which is a massive no-no everywhere else. But for some reason that store does it. I don't understand why they're getting away with it, because they were doing it before I left Fry's, and I still, for the life of me, I was like, dude, we asked for to be able to store some stuff in a back room that was close to at the last Fry's that I was at, that was close to the storage area, just to give us a little bit more leeway, like things that were more than a couple hours out, if we could just that. And they said no. They're like, no, you have to store everything in an area. And I was like, wow, okay.
Right? That's a mess.
Yeah.
Because some of these people have huge orders. You talked about like how large my orders are. Like, I think this past week was one of the largest orders I had, and that ended up just being like 30 items or something like that, because I ordered 10 of these or 8 of these sparkling ice things, you know. But I've seen people like they bring out like a giant, you know, flatbed cart for just one person. They're just loading shit in. It's like, holy crap.
It's I know this is like way inside baseball, but Fry's used to talk about basket size, average basket size, and that's kind of what they're basing everything off of. An average basket size for at the time for the store was about $36, an order of $36, because you're counting the big orders and you're counting the people walking through with like a soda, a candy bar, that kind of shit.
So
the average order was $36. So they're expecting something in that range. Like, that's what they were preparing for. After they had about 3 pickup locations open, they realized the average basket size for the pickups was about $136, because people were doing all their shopping because we were charging $5 for it.
Yeah.
And so nobody was coming in. Like, you're a rarity of somebody. I'm guessing when your order comes out, you have 3 totes, a refrigerated, a ambient, and a frozen.
Yeah.
And you could probably fit all that shit in one tote if they're all in the temperature zone.
Yeah.
But they're not same temperature zone. That's the only reason it's 3 totes. So small in is 4 totes most of the time. Average is about 6 or 7 totes, and then you would have orders, and I'm not saying like orders with a bunch of like cases of water, which is like a 1-for-1 tote, but like it wasn't crazy a couple times a day to have orders go out with 22 totes. Yeah. Yeah.
So does one person pick that entire order?
What?
Depending on what kind of store you're at. There's single thread and multi-thread stores, but most of the stores, the bigger ones, you're picking parts of up to 6 different orders, or 9 different orders now, because they added the extension to the trolleys. But if you see a store throwing stuff straight into a bag on a skinnier, taller 6-wheel trolley, those are all one order. And so the stores with a much, much smaller storage area, there's no places to put pallets where you can put the totes to stage them. So those orders get picked on those skinny, tall 6-wheelers, and then they get staged, and they stay on those skinny, tall 6-wheelers until the customer comes and picks them up. So those stores, you're selecting the whole order. But most of the bigger stores, you're doing parts of different ones, because it's spread out by temperature zone.
Okay.
I was just wondering, because it just seemed, because we were, I was going to say right before that, when we went to the Costco Business Center one, Joe went with one time there, they do online orders from there. And so they're doing, like Costco, you're buying in bulk, right? At a Costco Business Center, you're buying business bulk, which means you're buying like thousands of forks, like plastic forks, you know, literal boxes of like 15,000 plates. Like, you're doing it for your business, right? And they do online orders, and they have this giant pallet cart that has these cardboard boxes, and they have a Telezon, but they have a scanning laser thing on their finger,
Yeah.
And there's like bloop bloop, and he's just tossing them in the boxes, and I'm thinking that can't all be one order, right? Like, I mean, it could be, I guess, if you're a big enough business and you're ordering that much stuff, especially if you're a restaurant, because we see people walking out with like 4 or 5 boxes of onions, and you're like, well, that's clearly for a business, because you're not, hopefully not eating that much onions at home, because I think that's bad for you. But also you could be buying it for like a whole camp of people who don't leave their quarter of the ranch or whatever. But yeah, I was just wondering, because that seems like a lot of stuff, especially if you say 22 totes. You're like, that's all one person's doing, right? That's all they're doing is just that one order all day. That seems like a lot.
Probably there, yeah.
Because that seems. I mean, and again, it's like, I don't know the process. I don't know if the totes have lids and you have to close them and fit them in an area. I don't know how it works, but I'm like, you could probably fit a certain amount of stuff in there. I don't know if there's a weight limit or what it is, but it seems like there's a lot of logistics. I don't know about how it works, but
there's a lot of logistics, and it's usually poorly done.
Fair enough.
For the fries ones.
Well, it's a grocery store, so nothing's really that great.
Good intent behind the logistics, was just poor execution. Like, there was things like if a new brand of like a 12-pack of soda or like a 12-pack of sparkly water would come out, they wouldn't list it as an oversized item sometimes. So like sometimes, because like oversized is separate because you can't fit them into the totes, that the trolleys. But sometimes you'll get something that can't fit in a tote, and it's supposed to fit in that tote along with 15 other items. Yeah,
because it's supposed to be the size of like a fucking pack of gum, because no one changed it. Yeah. It's like, reminds me of when they used to do shitty fucking planogram resets. Yeah, and they show a box that's like this big, but it's actually like that big.
Best Buy was, at least the ones that I did, was notorious for not taking into account the height of boxes.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you can fit 3 of these, like, whatever, and it's an inch taller than the shelf above it, and you're out of room. It's like, okay, can we move it on its side and put one there? Because that's the only way we could do it. Or, right. You know, the other thing that I always hated was the fact that on the where the shelves go in, that piece of metal in the back goes down like 4 inches.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you have to stock something there, and you can't push it back far enough to stay. Yeah. Ugh. The worst.
Right.
Never taken into account. Not fucking once, ever, on any planogram I've ever seen. Even at the grocery. It's so fucking annoying.
Well, speaking of fucking annoying, comes naturally, we are
Joe,
Mike,
I'm Cody, and that's it for this week's episode, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. We didn't really stay on topic or have a topic at all, so
and we talked about how pickup works for 10 minutes, so that's going to be really boring for most people.
So,
right?
Thanks for listening to the end. And like usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Bye.